And we are live. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Deconversion Stories. Today, I am talking with Christy, also known as, was it Stargazelle? Is that it?
So, hmm
Yeah, on Twitter. By the way, her Twitter handle is in the description below if you feel like following her. Also, I have a link to her blog or vlog or whatnot. You're going to have videos in it.
yeah.
Yeah. So check that out below. Should be some really good stuff there. So basically, Christy, what I do here is I talk to people about their deconversions or something of that ilk, and their journey from that moment. Yeah, I know a lot of people tell me that it's not like a single moment, but
Yeah.
um, like what kind of things sort of started you down that path? Like things that you might have thought of, or that, hey, I don't know if this is real anymore, that kind of thing. And just take us on a journey up to where you are now.
Okay. Well, I grew up in a family that was kind of like we don't talk about religion, but they were. I grew up in a church. I grew up in a really kind of I don't know what a liberal kind of church, very progressive. They've always been okay with like gay people, so they'll do gay weddings. We have women pastors. It's a whole bunch of things. It's
Okay.
similar to like a Methodist church, and so I kind of grew up with a very like liberal view on religion, but at the same time, I was pretty religious. So I'm actually a third generation atheist. So there's two other people in my family that are non-religious as well. But the earliest I can remember like questioning things was probably when we started learning about earth science in like probably like middle school, and we learned about like the earth was 4 billion years old or something, and we started learning about evolution. And I remember asking my
Problem.
parents, yeah, I remember asking my parents, so how is this? I don't get it. This doesn't work. This doesn't match up. This billions of years and 7 days, like that doesn't work. How does that? And I remember getting like, well, maybe time is different to God, which is okay. Yeah,
Yeah, I've
that
heard
shut
that
me up
that
for a
point made.
while. It shut me up for several years, but I kind of always had like a little bit of a not really sure. Like I went through a lot of like ups and downs with like my faith. So I had like several years that were really I was really religious, and I had several years where I just kind of didn't really care, and it went through this up and down phase for a really long time. And then when I got to college 4 years ago, I kind of stopped going to church. I've always like dated around with non-religious people, so that's never been really an issue for me. But I was dating this
Hold
boy.
up a second.
Hmm.
Let them know who your current boyfriend is.
Objectively Dan from Atheist Truth Wanted. You should subscribe. Woohoo!
Yes, totally. Truth wanted. I was a guest host on there once, you guys. You should check it out. Of
It
course,
was
my internet
great. That was
crashed
a
for like
great episode.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Well,
So at the time, I was like a sophomore in college, and I was dating this guy that um, that was this whole long story with him. But anyway, I started watching the biggest turning point for me was when I started watching Cosmos. I watched Neil deGrasse Tyson's version,
yep.
and I literally watched like all the seasons in like 2 days, and like I've always been fascinated with space and like the universe and everything like that. I just always thought that was just incredible. So I started watching that, and there was an episode about like planets that are similar to Earth, and I remember there was also I think in that same episode he talked about like the possibility of life outside of the Earth. So I was kind of thinking about things, and I believe that there's a possibility of some type of life outside of just Earth. You know, with how many stars and solar systems and Earth-like planets there are, there's bound to be some kind of other life. And if there is like some kind of intelligent life that's similar to us, they wouldn't have the religions that we had. You know, because if Jesus existed, he was a human being, and
Mm-hmm.
on these other planets, probably not all human beings. So they, you know, that doesn't it didn't work for me, and so that got me thinking. And then I kind of discovered the YouTube atheist community. At the time, the only YouTube atheist I knew of was the Amazing Atheist, and his stuff was really harsh for me because I'm a type of person that likes to take baby steps into literally everything. So I looked around. Eventually I found like him at Meta and Cosmic Skeptic, and I started watching their stuff. And really having a questioning time. I was like, well, I don't know. What should I do? So I started watching all these videos, and I think I watched every single him at Meta video, and probably almost every single Cosmic Skeptic video. And
He's great.
Eventually I got into like the more hardcore people, so I started watching Godless Cranium, Vice Rhino, Godless Engineer. Shout out everybody, because like honestly, like if you're a YouTube atheist, I probably watched you. Rachel Oates, like everybody.
We're gonna meet all of them.
Yeah, really, like pretty much every single person out there, I've probably watched one of your videos. Like, I was really into it, and then I went through a few months probably where I was just like, I have no idea. I don't know what I am. I don't know what I think, and I just have no idea. And I actually came across a Cosmic Skeptic video, and he basically said, if you don't actively believe in a God, even if you don't know, you're an atheist. And I was like,
yep.
Yeah, okay. so I ended up like accepting it about 6 months later after I watched that initial video. And then since then, I came out to my parents and told them, because my mom is a lot more religious than my dad is, and they were.
When you say that,
my dad was chill with it. He was cool. My mom was really shocked, but they're both cool with it now. I'm open to them, but there's a lot of things that we disagree about. But other than that, like, we pretty much, they accept me like for what I believe and who I am and things. So
that's good, because I hear often like the reverse of that, where families pretty much ostracize their kids because of stuff like that. And when you say your mom is more religious than your dad, is she like an avid churchgoer? Does she go like without people, or does she try to drag your dad along? Or
no, I mean my dad, I think both of my parents are Christian, but since they both go to that very progressive liberal church, and that's the church that I grew up in, and my dad, I would kind of say, is like an agnostic, maybe like a deist.
Okay.
And my mom is definitely a Christian, but she's not like super into it. She just like she'll go.
Not like evangelical.
Yeah, and like my sister, I don't really know much about her specific beliefs because I don't really talk to her about that. But she's a choir director at her church, and so she's really involved, and so. But
Music's
she goes
good.
to the same kind of liberal, progressive church that we went to. So.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's cool. So it sounds like you were saying something about that church had a female minister or something.
Sorry about that. I just got a call. My mom tried to call me.
Mom, yeah. I'm on the YouTube.
I didn't tell her I was doing this. Oh well.
Oh, tell her to tune in,
well,
and then she can yell at me.
Because if she is, she's probably like, "Stop talking about me."
Sorry, Mom. If you are watching, it's nothing personal.
Yeah.
It's just the story.
Sorry. Yeah, but like, fortunately, I'm in a position where I recognize that I'm super lucky, because and people that do come out and like they can't talk about it with their families, and I'm very fortunate to have a family that even though we disagree fundamentally, we can make it work, and we can be open with each other.
Sure.
So that's really nice. It's really nice. So I know I'm lucky. I know there's a lot of people out there that are not, and that's one of the reasons I'm so open about like my atheism, is because I want to kind of stand up for the people that can't,
Right. Yeah. Sort of the same idea I had in my head when I decided to start doing this myself.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Maybe help people that are having doubts, so they can hear the stories of multiple types of results of when people do this, right? So.
Yeah, and I also, like, one of the other reasons that I started being actively, atheist, it was because I wanted to destigmatize the word atheist.
Mm-hmm.
My mom grew up with with her dad as an atheist, and while he is like super nice and everything, apparently when they grew up, that he was her only view of atheists was her dad, and he was very strong about his beliefs. And since when you're religious, you can be very sensitive about any criticisms. And so the
Sure.
stories that I got were that he was really like, if you don't believe this, blah blah, how can you believe this? How can you believe that? And you know, while I can kind of agree with all of that stuff, I can see from a religious perspective where that kind of stuff would, bother me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to kind of destigmatize all of that and show people that, there are people out here that are, we're willing to listen to you. We're willing to have intelligent, like positive discussions.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not going to be mean to you, even though we disagree. We're not going to just attack you.
I think you make that you have a pin post on your Twitter that pretty much says exactly what you're saying. Like we
Yeah,
can be
that blew.
better.
I was not expecting that. It was crazy.
That's good. It's good. That means
Yeah,
people are paying attention and they're
right.
going, you know what? She's right. We can do this without the name calling, the ad hominem bullshit and all that. We can
Yeah,
do this without that. And I try to do that as often as possible myself. Um, Sometimes I snap though, like a dry twig in the heat, but
yeah,
what do you do?
yeah. Well, like the biggest reason is because I was religious just like 2 or 3 years ago, and so I can remember what it felt like to be on the other side of the argument. And I personally, I took a lot of that stuff as personal attacks, even though
Uh-huh.
they weren't trying to be. So I try to be as like civil as I possibly can and watch my
Just so you know,
words. So
Dan's in the chat now.
I keep thinking you're saying my dad, and I was like,
No,
oh no.
Dan. All right, I'll try. Objectively, Dan is in the chat now. And he says she's wrong. I'm here to attack people, which is like the opposite of what he does.
He attacks me every day.
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, in a good way, I hope.
No, he hates me.
Oh, he hates you. Oh,
Yeah.
that's clear. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you can really tell. Yeah, love
Dan,
you.
stop being mean. I may be an inch shorter than you without my boots on, but I'll get you.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, I made him a mod, so I'll be able to pick him out.
Look at that. He's
Yeah.
he's getting up there in the world.
Well, he
This
made me
time
a
I
mod
get to
in
be the
Truth
famous
Wanted. Yeah. I figured tit for tat, he made me a mod in Truth Wanted, so every time I pop in there, I go, oh yeah, that's right, I got a wrench.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can
It's
fix
kind of
stuff.
like the tables are turned today.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
always on the show, and I'm in the chat, so now it's different. How does it feel?
Well, you do know that I usually do an after party for these,
Right.
and of course he's always welcome to jump in with you too. So I'll definitely send him a link if he wants to, if he's got the time, or is he still shopping? Is he trying to look for some fancy schmancy clothes for Faithless Forum?
Yes, you're actually exactly right.
You see, I've got like 100 something plus T-shirts, all of them black, of course, but
That's all you need.
yeah, for sure. And Dan, I'm kind of waiting for a Truth Wanted T-shirt. So
I know, me too. Honestly, I want one of the mugs.
yeah,
I've
that would be
been looking
awesome.
for a mug for like since he started.
All
There's
right, cool.
only
So
two. There's not enough.
let's carry on here.
All
Now that
right, go.
I sidetrack often. It's okay.
It's okay. Me too.
Great. So you figure actually let's stay on kind of the course here and let's talk a little bit about Dan. Like when you guys first met,
Yeah.
did he sort of because I can't remember what you told me about this off the top of my head. It's an age thing. Forgive me. Did you sort of meet him through the epistemology stuff or?
Yeah,
Or
well, we met at Secular Student Alliance convention last year,
okay.
and I actually had no idea who he was, But I recognized Telltale and Drew, GM Skeptic, and I recognized them, and I was like, I watch all their videos. I've seen like every single Telltale video for sure. I
Yeah,
haven't seen all
Owen's
of Drew's
fantastic.
videos, but I've seen quite a few. But I had seen all of Telltale's videos, and I went and I talked to him, and I talked to them for like an hour, and then I just followed them around the conference because it was so interesting. Like I just learning all about like all of these people that I look up to. It was like really really cool. And then I thought Dan was. I don't know who I thought Dan was. He was just some other person, and I thought he was
This
nice.
large dude over there.
Yeah, I was like, well, I mean, yeah, and he was super nice, so I got to know him, and things kind of just progressed from there. After we went back, he was the one that I consistently stayed in contact with, and so
Cool.
we kept talking, and then eventually, we started dating, and now we're here almost like 10 months later. I think we're getting close to a year. So I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. In
Shit, I didn't
July.
think it was that long. Wow, that's awesome. So, that's one of the things I love about him is he's so open to communication
Yeah.
from anyone. Like I was literally a nobody and asked him if he'd come on the show. Told him I was a fan of what he did, and then he came on the show and he's like, "Hey, you want to co-host?" And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" So
Yeah.
like he's just that awesome, right? So
Yeah, you're telling me. You're preaching to the choir, man.
yeah, I suppose that's true. All right, so that's really cool that you almost a year. Wow,
Yeah,
time flies, right?
it really does. Yeah, and we've since we're long distance, we've only seen each other in person. I think like 5 times.
No,
Yeah,
what?
yeah. I think it's 5. He can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's. I think it's only 5 or 6 times.
Well, you live Louisiana or something, right?
I live in Alabama.
Alabama. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so that's a
Yeah,
bit of a drive.
yeah. It's a 14-hour drive, but I would rather fly.
Wow.
I fly.
Yeah. Well,
Drives.
yeah. It's probably cheaper too. That's a lot of gas.
Yeah, it's cheaper for him because he has a better gas mileage in his car than I do. Like I have a tank basically, so I don't get a whole lot of gas mileage, so it's cheaper for me to fly.
Right. Right. See, I got to figure out what I'm going to do because I want to be at the Faithless Forum for the whole day. I even bought tickets to the after party thing.
Yeah.
Right. So gonna hang out there for a bit too. But I got to figure out how to get from there down to Austin
Hmm.
so that I can make it for Talk Heathen and Atheist Experience
Right.
right the next day. But
Hmm.
and apparently there's buses that run down the Greyhounds, and they go like all the time, so it shouldn't be a big deal.
Yeah.
And then I'll just bus back up to catch my plane home on the following Wednesday or whatever, because I'm going to be down there for a few days. Because Austin, Texas, is on my bucket list for places to go, so I
Yeah.
get to check
Yeah.
another one off, right?
It's
So
nice. It's really nice. I really like it out there. So
yeah,
if you have the time, you should go to the aquarium. Always shout out the aquarium. It's great. It's fantastic.
we've got one here too, but I've been there like a billion times, so it's about time I
Yeah.
get to go to a new aquarium.
Yeah. The one in Austin, it has all of these animals that are just out, and you can just like touch them. They're like a bunch of lizards and stuff. It's fantastic, and they have like a lemur interaction thing and a kangaroo
No,
interaction. You can feed the birds, and we fed an octopus, and that was really cool.
octopuses are
I got to
amazing.
touch an octopus. That was really neat.
Yeah, they let us do that here too. The giant Pacific octopus they have in the tank.
Yeah, it's crazy. They're crazy. It's awesome. It's really cool.
Slimy.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they have little pools that kids could go up and
Yeah,
touch urchins and stuff
yeah,
like that, right? And
yeah.
see an enemy
Hmm.
and whatnot. Wow, we're sidetracking all over the place here. All
Well,
right, all right, so let's go back to I think you were talking about was your college years and
yes.
stuff about. Did you like run in? Were there more people where you were that were atheistic, or were there fairly large numbers of like Christians and stuff like that?
Well, that's, since I'm in college, it's kind of different. Like if I just lived just here and was not around the college people, like I'm not done with school yet. I'll be done in December. But when I first came out, I thought I was like one of like very few. But
Mhm.
as I have been open about things, as I've talked to more people, I've found that there are actually like quite a few atheists, like at least in my friend group. I don't know if that's just because it's my friend group, but like there's quite a few, and you know, like there was a lot more than I knew of, but there weren't that many that were active about it and open about it. So like they're most of the time it's like, you know, my Secular Student Alliance chapter, those are the people that are pretty active, and even in that there's a lot of people that aren't open about it with their families or publicly out, and
Right.
you know, there are a ton of people that are very religious here. So like,
Sure.
did you see that Odyssey article that said like I'm a Christian and I'm not a feminist because God didn't make women and men equal? It blew up like a few months ago.
Yeah, I remember that article.
That the person that wrote it goes here to the same school as me. So if
Oh.
that kind of tells you a little bit about like my environment.
You don't have to deal with her, do you?
No, I don't know who she is.
Okay.
No,
Well, if you ever find out, slap her. Hey, shut up.
I don't know if I would do that, but I would probably have a street epistemology like talk with her, you know.
There you go. You can learn from one of the masters. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you ever do run into her, yeah, definitely try that on her and see what happens.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool to find out. But anyway, so you we talked about your vlog or blog, I guess. What the hell are we calling it? Vlog or blog?
It's a vlog.
Vlog.
I can do videos. I just haven't like sat down and like thought about doing it because like I don't know, like I know how to do it. I know how to edit videos. Yep. I know how to put that all together and do all of that, but I don't really have that super good equipment. I have like my phone, so
it works.
Yeah, but you know, I could have a lot nicer equipment. If I did have nicer equipment, I would probably make some like short videos going along with the things that I write about and post those. But you know, it's with the equipment that I do have, it's a lot easier just to write something.
Okay.
So that's
okay, but you do plan on adding videos
possibly.
to there at.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, you cut out.
Some point, right? Oh.
There you are. Yeah. Yeah, well, probably.
Yeah, sorry. Very good.
There it goes.
Yeah, sometimes my internet here gets a little choppy. So. Okay. Oh, trust me, it's here. I live in a condo, apartment complex that many people are home around now that ride the same bandwidth as me. So it can get a little jammed up at times. It happened so bad that night that I was doing the Truth Wanted one.
Yeah, I remember that.
It shut me down.
Yeah, you were gone for like 20 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was terrible. I'm still embarrassed about that. Hopefully, maybe I'll come back on one day and it won't happen.
Yeah.
At some point, who knows?
Someday. That's my ultimate goal, is to be on that.
Oh, come on. I know a guy. You know the same guy.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Oh, yeah. And you could probably sit in there with him as a co-host too, right? If you're over there.
Yeah, it'll have to be after I graduate school. So
that's fair enough.
Yeah.
You have your priorities, right? And that's actually not a bad priority.
Well, I'm almost done, so I might as well just finish it out.
Yeah, exactly. Is this your last year?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm doing 4.5 years. So I graduate in December, and I just have 2 classes taking in December.
And what's your? Is it like you're obviously you're going for some kind of a degree, I guess.
Yeah, I'm getting a BS in communications with a concentration in public relations and a minor in English.
Oh, cool. Very cool.
Yeah. So the blog is working because I love writing. So that kind of thing is just, I love it.
Well, then your blog should be really interesting.
I hope. I hope it's not terrible.
Well, a reminder to people that are here now. Actually, I just noticed my friend India, who's also known as Sassy Atheist. She just started up a vlog herself. So
she just followed me on Twitter today.
Yeah, well, she was on Twitter as Sassy Atheist, And then she disappeared because all her ex-Christian friends were giving her a hard time or something.
Yes.
So
she was the one that she had. It was like she had been a Christian, and then she just like all of a sudden was like she changed her username as soon as
yeah,
she became. Yes,
yeah,
I remember who that is.
yeah. I had an interview with her a couple of months back. So
Right. Yeah, that was really fun to follow.
definitely, yes, Pine Snake. We know you've talked. Yeah,
everything. Just that was really cool.
yep. And she's a super sweet lady, and really funny. And anyways, so yeah, guys, you can check out hers. Oh, I haven't made her a moderator, so she's not going to be able to post a link.
Oh.
And I'll do it at some point, Indy, I promise. But it bogs down my computer when I boot up another window just to do that. So, and it's already crappy.
Yeah. So that's why I get to do it on my phone today.
Well, at least you have that tripod you were telling me about, so that you could have it there.
It's great. I love it.
Awesome. Now, can that thing double as a selfie stick or what?
This one cannot, but I do have a tripod selfie stick as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I run a couple of Facebook pages on the side, and one of them's for I play steel drums. One of them's for the steel drum band here, and a lot of times I'll go live on Facebook and live stream the concerts a lot. So that's the main reason that I got this. But
that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's really fun.
I don't know anyone in my life personally that plays steel drums. That's just awesome.
It's a blast. I've been doing it for about 2 years now. It's just super fun.
Oh my goodness.
We had a gig yesterday.
Well, when I'm able to drag my band down to Faithless Forum some year, I'll have you jump up with a steel drum and you can add some extra coolness to our tunes.
Well, I am a drummer.
Or are you?
Yes, I'm a percussionist. I don't really play a lot of set or like drums, but I play everything else.
I play pots and pans in the kitchen.
Yeah.
That's about as good as I get.
That's the same thing.
I started doing that when I was little. My grandma just hated it because I was banging the crap out of her pans and stuff.
Yeah.
But she put a little gate on the kitchen so I couldn't come in there when she was in there. But that's how annoying I was. And nothing's changed. I'm still annoying as fuck. But anyway.
It is what it is.
Exactly. Is there anything else that you want to chat about? Do you still have more of the story to tell? Like what made you decide? Let's do that. What made you decide to sort of start becoming an activist? Like, what inspired you to do that?
I guess probably I just feel like around here, especially, where I'm from, there's a lot of Christians that are very, very open about their Christianity, and I think that we need more of a balance. So it's, people aren't just getting Christian, and then every once in a while maybe like a Muslim or a Jewish person, and maybe sometimes
those damn Jewish people.
Yeah, well,
I'm an ex-Jew.
Yeah, but I think that the biggest reason was that I think it's unfair to feel like I don't like. Even though I'm in as an atheist in a family that accepts me, it's unfair to not be active and open to all the people that can't. I feel like being open to me is like the same thing as a Christian being open about being Christian. Like freedom of religion. Like if Christians can do this, so should we. Kind of that kind of situation.
Well, it's funny because they have so much privilege.
Yeah.
In the U.S. and then anytime you speak out about some of the stuff they're trying to influence laws and stuff like that, we're being persecuted. No, dude, we're just trying to, we're trying to level up here, like make things even out, right? Like stop with this. You're a privileged human being here.
Right. Yeah. And even when I was religious, I always was very, very strong believer in separation of church and state, and always just thought that was really important. And social issues I always thought were very important. And so I've been taking a little bit of a risk here, being so open because, I'm getting ready to graduate and find a job. And with the kinds of jobs that I'm looking for, there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, we're not going to hire somebody that's active about that. Like, but I don't know if
Is
that's
that
just here in the South or if that's, just the nature of a communications job. But that's something that does scare me. But, I don't want to work for a place. I told my parents about this. I don't want to work for a place that doesn't want to hire me simply because I'm an atheist. I want to work for a place that will hire me because I'm qualified.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Your atheism is irrelevant when it
has
comes to your
nothing
job.
to do with how well you can perform a job.
Exactly.
Right.
All it is, and often you hear religious people, oh, the religion, and it's like, no, man, it's just a position on the existence of deities. That's it.
Yeah. Like it.
So stop with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, dealing with some of these people, especially the more fundy types, it can be difficult, right? Because you're trying to be cool with them, and they're just so much holier than thou, So it can be tough sometimes. So yeah, but I wouldn't worry about that influencing your job search. I'm pretty sure you can use me as a reference.
All right, I will.
Yeah, call Neil the 604 Atheist. He's my reference.
Yeah, he knows.
Oh yeah, I'll do that right now. Well, that's awesome, man. Geez, we've only really gone for about half an hour.
I didn't even realize it's been that long already.
Yeah. Well, normally I do these for about an hour.
Okay.
Do you I don't even really know where to go from here now because I think we've covered just about everything. Why don't I'll tell you what? Why don't we? This could be a shorter one, and we can jump into an after party, and then Dan can hop in.
Okay.
And a couple other people that might want to hop in, and we can talk about this whole belief thing a little more, because I think it might be interesting to have some other perspectives in here for this kind of conversation.
Yeah, totally.
You cool with that?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, Christy, thank you so much for chatting with me.
Yeah.
It's awesome. And just so you guys know, I said something really inappropriate earlier today on Twitter. I often blurt shit out. I'm like, geez, I hope Dan's okay that I'm popping your YouTube, Jerry. She's like, oh my God.
I was at work when that popped up, and I was like, I hope no one sees this.
I should have put not safe for work.
Yeah.
I was at work when I posted it, so we're even.
Oh, well.
I was on coffee break, though. All right, yeah, Dan, I was just kidding about that. So I don't want to like go, hey, Dan, and then have a fist fly at my face or something when I get there. Yep. All right. That is wait, what? Oh, no, I didn't think you were joking. When you said you're bringing your violin, that's fantastic.
Is he? Oh, he is.
Yeah, he says he's gonna.
I forgot he was gonna do that. I have a story about his violin. So he brought it here the first time he came to see me. I hope he's okay with me telling this story, but I'm going to tell it anyway, even if he's not. But he brought his violin here, like the first time he came here in like September, and my whole family is like super, super musical. We all play instruments. Some of us sing. Some of us, we play a lot of different stuff. Like I also play ukulele a little bit.
No way, awesome.
Yeah. And so it's like a whole big thing. Like I'm a drummer, my dad's a drummer, my uncle and my cousin are all drummers, and they're so whenever my dad's side of the family comes over, we all are kind of we have this music room in my house. It's just filled with a bunch of different musical instruments, and
cool.
We will all just kind of go in there and just jam together. And
see, now that's a family get together.
Yes, when Dan came, we had a half size viola, because I played viola when I was in like 5th grade, and we still had it. And Dan came and tuned it to the violin strings, and he started playing stuff on it on this little bitty. And Dan's 6'5", and it's this little bitty thing, so he looked like he was like real small, like a teeny tiny violin. It was hilarious. It was so funny.
Oh, he's a big dude, so you probably look like like a giant playing a guitar or something, like,
Yes.
but the little tiny little thing
Yes, it
there.
was really, really funny, and that was the first time like he had met any of my family, so it was great. So they
Uh,
all liked him because of that. So
you know what? Before we go out, we'll answer Pine Snake's question. Pine Snake is my
hey,
friend
Pine
Ian.
Snake, what's up?
Um, he asked, "Why do you think it's important for humanism to be pushed?"
Oh, that's a good
Like,
question. I was not prepared for this question, but
I think the answer is obvious, personally.
well, I think it's just it's the right kind of thing. We should all be good to each other. Regardless
Exactly.
of your religious or your political or whatever beliefs. We should all just be kind to one another. I know that's a
Exactly.
Bible verse, but I've had two very, very important people in my life where that was kind of their catchphrase. And
Well,
my great grandfather used to end all of his letters when I was real young. He used to end all of his handwritten letters to my family with "Be kind to one another," and so that's kind of a philosophy that I have.
it's a good one.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we have to share this planet with each other, guys. So,
Yeah.
try to be the best fucking version of yourself that you can.
Hmm.
And see, I'm myself sometimes, to the chagrin of my family. Sometimes I'm a little overly generous to
Yeah.
people. uh, but they're like, we want to hate you, but we can't because you're
Yeah.
such a good guy, right? So,
Right.
anyway, but that's just the way I want to be, because I want the way we live on, because obviously we don't believe in an afterlife. So the way we live on is through people's memories and the things that
Right.
we've done in our life to make this place better.
Yeah.
And it's all about wellness and well-being. So if I can do that to make this place a little bit better for everybody else, then I'm going to do anything and everything that I can.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
right. So that's just the way I look at it, which is why I do the blood donation stuff.
Mm.
Why I do the, mind you, I haven't done it in a while because they actually hired someone to do it, and that's a recent thing. With dog walking for the SPCA, I used to volunteer.
I actually
Probably,
did that too. I volunteered at the Humane Society where I'm from. I've
yeah.
done that for I did that for like 3 years, and I was dog walking. I worked in the cat room, and that was a lot of fun. I really liked that.
Mhm. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. And I tell you, every time I do it, I've done it like many, many times. Um, every time I do it, I want to take one of them home.
Oh my gosh, yeah, yeah. I did it after the worst part was right after my childhood dog died, and there was this dog that I used to watch or to walk that had the same personality and or like a very similar personality, and I really wanted my parents to get this dog, and they didn't, but I really, really wanted them to get it.
You try bribing them?
Yeah, I was like, I'll do anything. I'll take it to my apartment. I'll keep it.
uh, I know, when I moved from where I am now, because my roommate is a cat lady.
Mm,
Um, so I can't bring a dog in here. So
yeah,
unfortunately, but I wouldn't
yeah,
anyway.
my
Not in a
German
park.
Shepherd. She's in her cage.
Oh,
She's
she? You
Yeah, she's
caged
kind of
her?
dumb. She doesn't like strangers. She barks a lot.
Oh,
She doesn't
that's
like
a
me.
good thing.
She,
Safety wise, that's a good thing.
yeah, yeah, it's great.
All right. Well, thanks again. I said thanks already, and then we dragged it on a little
Oh,
longer, but that's okay. Chrissy, it's been awesome. It's been great
yes,
to sort of one-on-one a little bit, get to know you a little bit.
yeah,
Um, I just think this will just make Faithless Form just that much more fun, because now I know
yeah.
both.
I'm super excited. I'm super
I know,
excited.
me too. And I've been noticing Shannon Q posting like 2 sleeps or whatever, like all week. It's
Yes,
been 3 sleeps, two
yeah,
sleeps. Whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
Shannon
it's
and I
going
have
to
been
be great.
talking about the same thing all week.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Although my friend Ocean and
Mhm.
Shannon, um, we're all like, I think we're going to be pretty drunk for most of this, because everyone's like, oh, let's go have a beer, let's go have a beer, let's go have a
Mhm.
beer, or
Oh,
I'm going to have a beer with you, and I'm going to have a beer with
yeah.
you, and
Go.
yo, geez. Oh, geez, I don't know. I'm going to have to drink alcohol-free beer or something for a while.
Yeah, I'll have to be real careful.
Yeah, yeah. Kind of, you don't want to tie too many on, because
Yeah,
I don't want to be doing a lip stand at some point, right? Fall
yeah,
on my face. All right, let's wrap this up and let's get into an after party. I've already had a couple of people beat me messages on Twitter. I want to come, I want to come. So we'll do that, and we'll get together with some friends and just bring the discussion on a little further. I can go for about an hour, hour and a half tonight, maybe, and you don't have to stay for the whole thing if you got stuff you got to do. That's fine. You can bow out whenever you want. But I just, I always like it if you guys, or you, when I say you guys, I mean the people that I interview, to meet some of the other crazy people that I hang out with. So,
yeah, totally.
All right, Dan, if you're interested in jumping in, let me know in the chat, and I'll send you a link through Twitter. Yeah. Oh, you've been told, pal. You've been told. Christy, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you for sharing your story with me, and hopefully, no worries. It's been great. Hopefully, the after party goes fun too. They usually do. Anyways, remember, guys, what I always say at the ends of these things. Oh, before I say that, thank you guys for tuning in and hanging out with us while we had this chat. Because I usually always say that before the end. And one thing I always say at the end of these things, guys, is remember, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.